Hi, I'm Katie Crawford with Remax Preferred Choice, and I'm here to bring you your Tri-Region real estate market update for the month of January 2023. So that means we'll be looking at the numbers for Spruce Grove, Stony Plain, and Parkland County. So kicking it off with Spruce January, we had 5 months of inventory. So basically what this means is if we stopped listing houses today, it would take 5 months to sell the remaining inventory that would be on market. So a balanced market is between 3 to 6 months. A buyer's market is over that 6 month mark, and a seller's market would be less than 3 months. So we're on a balanced market right now, kind of on the cusp of a buyer's market, and you'll kind of see why as I convey the rest of the numbers to you. The way that we calculate the months of inventory is we take the total number of active transactions and we divide that by the number of listings that sold that month. That gives us the 5 months. So currently, as of February 1st, I should say there's 174 active listings in Spruce Grove. And the number of sold homes, single family homes in January, this doesn't count condos, was 33. So we're down from December, and we're also down quite a bit, as you can see, from January 2022, down 14 sold properties or transactions. There were 94 new listings in January, which is a lot. It was up from December, and it was also up 28 listings from the 66 that were listed in January last year as well. So sellers are on the ball to get those houses listed early this year in Spruce Grove. The average days on market, the time that it takes for a home to sell, is currently sitting at 68 days. So we want this number to be lower, but unfortunately it's gone up a little bit since December, 16 days longer, and up 23 days since last year in January 2022, which was 45 days average on market. The average home is selling for higher than it did last month at 411K, and January last year as well. $420,000 was the average price that a home was selling for. But the list to sale ratio is quite high at 98%. So basically what that means is sellers are getting 90% of their list price when they close on their transaction of the sale of their home. All right, now going into Stony Plain, we're going to see some similar trends here. Stony Plain has 5.9 months of inventory, so they're really sitting on that cusp of being on a buyer's market right now. Still in the balanced range, but it's kind of at that tipping point. They have 59 listings currently active on the market in Stony Plain, and the number of sold houses for January was 10. The number of new listings for January was 23, which again, it's up from December, and it's also up from January of last year, just slightly in Stony. The average time a home is selling for in Stony right now is 95 days, but if we were to knock off the longest time on market and the least time on market, that would give us a median number, which is 76 days. There's a couple listings in Stony that have been on for quite some time. One's been on for almost 2 years. So those are really bringing that days on market number up, but median is around 75. So longer than Spruce Grove slightly. And the average home in Stony in January sold for 457, and again this number was skewed because there was one property that sold for almost 1.2 million in Stony for January. There was a couple higher prices. If you take a look at December, it was $320,000. So if we kind of bumped those off of the list, you would see an average price closer to that $320,000 range. And the list to sell ratio in Stony is 97% as well. So pretty close to Spruce. Now with Parkland County, for January, we were in a buyer's market based on that metric of taking the total number of active listings and dividing it by the number of sold properties. However, who wants to trudge through the snow looking at acreages in the cold months of January? So this is definitely going to normalize and come down, I think, as more buyers come to market that are looking at acreages. So the number of active listings is 117. The number of sold was 13. and the number of new listings for January was 38. So we're seeing in Spruce Grove, Stony Plain, and Parkland County, sellers are on the ball, and we're seeing more new listings for January than we did in 2022. The average time a home is selling in Parkland County is 100 days. And again, as we move into the spring months, this number is going to edge down because we'll have more acreage buyers in the buying pool, I guess you could say. And the average home is selling for $596,000, which is actually the same as January last year. It's down from last month, but again, in Parkland County, we have some higher price listings that sold, and that kind of jacked up that average sale price number. The average list to sell ratio right now is 95. And again, I believe sellers will end up getting closer to their list prices as we move into the spring months. So it's kind of interesting because we're seeing the same market trend in Spruce, Stony, and Parkland County for the most part, where there's more listings on the market. They're sitting on the market longer with higher days on market. We still are seeing higher average transaction prices because the list prices are higher. They haven't quite come down from the I would say inflated 2021 and 2022 listing prices, but that's going to continue, I think, to come down as the market continues to normalize. And of course, like I said, we're in a balanced market, but I think it'll be less close to a buyer's market as we move throughout the season. Transactions are also down overall. So what does this all mean for you? So if you're thinking of buying a home this year, especially if you're looking for an acreage, by the sounds of it, it would be good to start early because there's a lot of new listings that just flooded the market at the end of January. And so sellers are eager, and we're still kind of on the cusp of that buyer's market right now. So you'll probably get a little bit more value when you come to actually put an offer on your dream home. And for sellers, because there are larger numbers of listings right now, you have to sell well. You have to make sure you're getting it right the first time. Houses aren't going to sell themselves like they have, well, I guess you could say they have for the last couple of years. It's been a lot easier. We're not seeing as many multiple offer situations. They're still happening, but it has to be for maybe a home that's a rarity or very desired. So sellers, sell well, get your staging right, make sure you're positioned with the correct pricing, marketing, and make sure that you have an agent that's going to be able to show your property in the best light. And if you're looking to buy or sell this year, I would love to be able to have the opportunity to help you out. So send me a message and we can connect. And also all the info that I've shared with you today was taken from the MLS data source from the Realtors Association of Edmonton. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in February.